encouraged the people of Hungary to rise up against the Soviet invaders, and promised that the U.S. would arrive to help if they picked up pitchforks and spoons and attacked the Soviet army, and they never came. So
I was about to say that sounds like promising something on someone else's behalf that someone else might not be able to fully deliver on.
Which is a concern. Mr. Trump has, on Truth Social, offered that if the slaughter of citizens by the IRGC continues, that he will help.
Yeah, well, Mr. Trump wasn't always in office.
I just looked up the Prime Minister of Denmark to see what you guys are talking about. I don't see what I don't see what the big deal is here.
Okay, I can answer that real quick.
Have you been out to sea for 6 months or something?
Here's the thing. Hypergyra says, why? Denmark is also turning into an Islamic shithole, right? Well, so are all of the Nordic countries and all of Europe in general. But the Prime Minister of Denmark is the lone Prime Minister of the Nordic who is speaking a little bit about doing something about it. Whereas the Prime Ministers of Sweden and Norway are more like, we like this, but we are really, really worried about Russia. So all you Norwegian youth, we're really going to need you to be ready to go to battle for Brussels and for us, the global elite.
I thought you guys were saying it's because she's hot. Okay, now I'm caught up.
That too.
Yeah. So. No, we have bigger things to worry about than the hotness of the individual PM. I mean, there's plenty other TV personalities to make up for that all over the North. There's no short supply there. And Scarvin Ambrose says, is Norway returning to pillaging? No, as it is right now, it's the citizens of Norway and the rest of the Nordic and all of Europe, in fact, being pillaged. So, yeah, it's quite a twist from history. But anyway, so yeah, but let's since we are on messages, we have Drew Tipton who says,
"Well, no one asked me how my New Year was."
I was about to get to it. Wishing you all a happy New Year, especially you, Tom. Hope all gets better with mead. God bless. And indeed. And if you check the description, there we have the Tom's PayPal link to help with some support after Mead got demonetized, and the YouTube AI that reviewed the appeal video decided, this is all good and well, and the AI that messed up previously, we don't see anything wrong with that because we're the same AI. So yeah, if a human looked at things probably would be very different. But when you fire the humans and you replace them with the AI, sometimes mistakes are made and they're not corrected.
Well, I mean, in all deference, it was a jury of 12 AI peers.
Yeah, and they all did the verdict in 12 nanoseconds.
So intelligent, they don't even need to watch the video. They just know.
No.
Yep.
They can just look at Tom. They know Tom.
No, they can look at the earlier verdict. Like I know myself. Am I agreement with myself? Yeah. Yep. Would it be embarrassing if I changed opinion? Yeah, it would be. So let's just stick with it.
Brilliant.
Well, the problem with that is an AI wouldn't be embarrassed. So that's why it tells me this is not a glitch. It's not.
That's the really scary thing that we all need to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what's happening here is an absolute travesty and a miscarriage of justice. It is despicable. I can't stand it.
But yeah, so read Drew's super chat here. Sorry about that, Drew.
Yeah, no, we did it already. Wishing you all a happy New Year, especially you, Tom. Hope all gets better with meat. God bless.
And happy New Year, Tom.
The appeal was rejected, so basically we have to sit down and figure out what we're going to do. Probably start a new channel, or I don't know yet. So there's no secondary appeal process.
The channel was parked for all intents and purposes, though, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was at the live streams all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never been on those, I don't think.
You were, but you just don't remember
No.
because you're old.
They're after dark. You're in bed by 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever we did the list shows, or I said, "Come hang out with us,"
Yeah.
it's later at night.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
on after
I
dark.
remember.
Yeah.
That's I'm sorry to well, obviously I support it, and sorry to hear about it.
Yeah, it is what it is. So for now, that's where we're at, and that's my New Year's gift from YouTube. So, yeah, they don't have humans that appeal things, evidently. So, and like Andre said, it was never going to get it.
I mean, that is the main problem with Google as a company from top to bottom, whether it's YouTube or Google proper. You cannot speak to a human being. There is no human support for anything. You cannot question anything. You cannot you can't get any help whatsoever with anything. It's very frustrating.
So my prediction for 2026, YouTube is going to implode on itself. And it's exactly what they want. They don't want us.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of us. They just want CBS, ABC, Fox, NBC, Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount,
All right.
and
Paul
AI
is
editing
content.
a video while we're
No, I'm not.
Now, and they want AI slop content. They want that to be the creator.
Well, in other words, Tom, you're saying my prediction, pain.
Yeah. No, but you're right about that, because like basically behind in the YouTube studio, this is something that I have never used, I never will use, but we now have this AI feature with inspiration that we're supposed to look at for inspiration for the next video. And with a few buttons, we get like suggestions for here's a good title, here's a good thumbnail, here's a good script. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah. Well, and they know that there will be plenty of lazy creators that will be happy to oblige.
Yeah, and that's kind of like an issue, because that's part of the reason why our views, in addition to those of, well, pretty much everyone else, because you can't really tell on the really big channels like Nerdrotic, but their views have taken a tumble as well.
Yeah.
It's just that their views were started from a much higher point, so you don't really see it, but everyone, even the biggest of channels, have taken a tumble. And a big part of the reason for that is because now there is so much AI slop.
Yep.
If you look in your recommended feed, I'm sure half of the videos there is going to be various faceless videos which are fully AI generated. May not look like that at first glance, but I assure you that they are, from various faceless channels. Many of them are just going to have like a few hundred or a few thousand subscribers. Maybe they have billions or videos that go viral with like a few 100,000 views, but the channel still only has like a few thousand. And that's the thing, we're competing with all of those, that there's 10,000 new channels being created every single day, 9 and 10 of them AI slop.
Yep.
And suddenly the algorithm is pushing them as much or harder than established creators.
And demonetizing established creators. I mean,
Yes.
Tom is but one of thousands that they're
Yeah.
demonetizing daily.
And it's pretty easy to tell that Richard Attenborough is not telling you 10 reasons why, fucking Disney sucks. Like, that's clear.
I am really, really bugged by the AI videos. You can tell. I mean, some of them are in the subject areas that I'm interested in. Cars. I'm a car guy, but more and more, you can't trust any of the ones that clearly scraped Consumer's Report for car info, and then grab all the text from it, and then have an AI that I guess automatically also generates images that are fine.
Yes.
So
do you want to know how bad it is? Because you said you're interested in car videos, plenty AI about that. Dude, everyone has that, no matter what they're interested in. Regardless of your area of interest, YouTube is going to feed you that, and 9 out of 10 things is going to be AI-generated slop. I think that right now, the majority of, just imagine all of the videos to have been uploaded on YouTube over the past 15 years. I still think that right now, the majority of videos are AI-driven garbage that have come up in the last 6 months. And they're on a variety of topics.
YouTube has to do something about it. One of the ways that you can also tell is, let's say there's a topic that's really hot. There was one point the female WNBA player that was a very big topic at the time, Caitlin Clark. Almost every single video about her was scraped AI, and not just that, but they scraped each other.
Yeah.
And I went, wait a second, this is just a sideways version of somebody else's video. And I realized that any hot topic, you pretty much should not be clicking on unless it's me talking about it.
And you shouldn't go into a hot topic either. But that
But
being
the thing
said,
is if you have AI generated slop becoming ubiquitous, then even the new AI slop is referring to the old AI slop.
well, here's what you guys are not getting at, and Andre will know what I'm getting at here because he's been there. We're basically training our replacement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking kidding. We are training our replacement. This is what this AI thing is all about. This is why they're doing what they're doing. This is why sooner or later all these AI videos are going to come to a head, and it feels like nobody's creating because they're not.
Yep.
We're training the replacement. They're going to get rid of us all, and it's going to be ABC, NBC, Fox, blah, 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 and AI videos that YouTube creates that'll be exactly like what we do, but they don't have to deal with us or pay us anymore.
Yep.
I'm not fucking kidding. That's exactly what this is. When I say this is not a glitch, this is happening on purpose. I'm not joking.
Well, I don't know how they're training on us.
They're using our videos to train the AI.
No,
Just
no, I
yes,
don't
they
agree.
are. Absolutely.
No, because they don't need to, Tom. All they need to do is have a source of clipped videos. They grab the text. The bigger problem is that they're stealing text from news sources and then having a narrator narrate it. We're not doing that.
Yeah, no, but we are part of the scraped material. We're part of the whole package that they're looking at. So us specifically, no, I don't think that anyone is looking for us, targeting us specifically. But I think that they're downloading 1 million videos to find different templates, scraping those, and we're among them.
Yeah, I think they've pretty much got us down. I don't think they need any more scraping of commentators. I mean, there's people like Asmund Gold, the people who do the straight up stuff that's probably easy to translate into a source material. But again, I think they've already got the formula down. They just grab the text, find clips, find pictures that fit the clips, and then.
Oh, you can totally tell that they have a formula, and I'm sure they'll keep on refining it. But as it is right now, there is a formula, absolutely.
Where do you think they learned that type of formula?
Oh, well, my point is they've already learned it.
Yeah.
From us though, like
these
top 10 fucking videos, like that.
But I'm saying that they're not.
That crap is why I didn't like
content.
that shit like 5 years ago, because I said this is a goddamn future. I said, and this is this type of slop that AI can make in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's bugging me is nowadays I'll see a clip on X or Telegram or whatever, and immediately my alertness is up wondering, okay, is this AI or what am I seeing? Is this a real thing or is this some AI slot?
I think that's deliberate. It's to make you not trust what you see and not trust your own eyes, because I have that same experience in my Facebook feed because I get so much slop. And here's the thing that I now, for some things, I don't know, is this real?
Yeah.
Or is this some AI dribble? Because it can be both, and I think that is may not be an accident. Remember, this is something I keep on forgetting his name, but the KGB guy, the one who ran to America and who exposed this entire thing about demoralizing a nation. One of the things that he said is that these organizations that were trying to disrupt nations, they would always hijack the news and flood the populace with fake news, because that way you get confused and you can't even tell what's real when confronted with it. That's
Yeah,
what
that
we're seeing
was
right
Yuri
now.
Bezmenov.
We can't tell what's real from what's fake.
Yep, that was Yuri Bezmenov.
Yeah, he's in Canada.
Bezmenov, yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, he escaped to Canada.
So not only did they train, I think Paul is right to a degree, but I agree with Tom. Every video that goes into YouTube, every video that goes onto YouTube is being scraped and is now
100%.
part of
100%.
their
Yeah,
AI database because it's owned
Yeah.
by Google. Why wouldn't they?
I think what's happened is that it's managed to scrape the lazy YouTubers. It's hurt us,
Yeah.
but it's also hurt the lazy YouTubers, which I made a video on.
It's hurt every YouTuber. It's wiped out the lazy ones. And we're the next
What
tier.
else it's doing though, Paul? Think about this, right? It has the algorithm of every YouTube user. So it knows people scrolling, it knows what they stop on, it knows what most people will watch, and it knows sort of the cadence, the topic, et cetera, that are watched. And so it just takes all that data that it has on everyone and just creates the most clickable videos to keep you in the system, in their ecosystem.
Right.
Because they're selling ads. They want that ad revenue. That's why you'll find some videos, like I tried to watch a video last night. It was a 2-hour discussion, and every 3 minutes I had to skip an ad. Every 3 minutes, I'd never seen so many ads on a video. So they're ramping that up, right? But at the same time, they'll put ads on their AI created slop. And the AI created slop was pulled from all the data and algorithms and even live shows like this to generate something that more and more people will watch because they'll get more and more views. I mean, they're just in this for profit. They don't care that Tom is, a human that's just trying to get by with a little bit of revenue from YouTube. And of course, while I would like everyone to go to Rumble or just start doing your videos on X, the reach is far lower. Even though Rumble is totally free speech. I've seen stuff on Rumble that wouldn't have passed muster over at YouTube. There's no way in hell. But it's just not viable yet, and unfortunately, it won't become viable until more people go there. So it's sort of a circular.
Speaking of, we are back on Rumble today.
Oh, great!
Yeah, I've
Yes.
seen a lot of Rumble comments coming through in the chat. It's great to see.
The formula is still extremely narrow. Part of the problem is also the audience, where if they like a topic, they will actually watch a video on that topic, even though 90% of the content is repetitive. If they get one new little morsel of information that's different, they will watch. Let's say Stranger Things as an example. If they hate Stranger Things, they'll watch 100 Stranger Things hate videos, even though nothing new is being said. It's people love to have things on repeat.
Confirmation bias, yeah.
Yes. And they want to hear it over and over again. One of the categories that, if you could call it, suffering by this AI crap is YouTube advice videos, ironically, because they've been scraping each other, and the volume of money that each of these crappy YouTube make $1 million a year videos have been they've been plummeting in revenue and views. But the funny thing is that the AI that they train on each other is just making it worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like that. Yeah, YouTube has got to support live human beings, or their channel is going to die, or the system is going to die.
They should. Unfortunately, I think with the current CEO of YouTube, which I believe is the one that Elon Musk fired from Twitter, he doesn't give a flying fuck about live content creators. His only interest is to increase the dividend and profit for Google. And if he decides that wiping off any non-ABC affiliated human from the platform, replacing it all with AI, if that's better for the premiums, that's what they're going to do, because that's where his responsibility stops.
I
Sorry,
believe
Karen.
that there is definitely a concentrated effort right now um to eliminate the new media, right? New media has been eating legacy dinosaur media's lunch for, a couple of years now.
Years,
And
yeah.
and now the legacy dinosaur media is going to start trying to migrate to new media platforms, and they're going to try to wipe out the new media to make room for CNN and, ABC News and all of that stuff.
I think you're
Probably,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Marvin. It's so funny too how irritating it is when you're listening to a video or watching a video and suddenly you realize, because it doesn't know how to pronounce NVIDIA or kernel or some kind of word, and immediately this is not a human, but I was fooled into thinking this was a human.
I've had that experience a few times. Like just a little while ago, I was listening to a Jordan Peterson thing, and I really thought, actually, this is a few months ago. This is before I was as acutely aware of various AI slop as I am right now, where I thought it was someone that had really clipped something from a Jordan Peterson lecture and put it up on their own channel or something. So I was listening to it, happy and content, and then suddenly, I don't remember one word, but then it was one word that was mispronounced. It was pronounced the way that you would write it, the way that logic dictates it should be pronounced, but the actual pronunciation rules are different.
Yeah.
And I know that Jordan Peterson, he's not going to mess up that one word. It's like, oh shit, this is an AI. He probably never said any of these things. All of this is just bullshit that's made to, well, yeah, just like your car videos are tailored to a specific route.
Well, on Geeks and Gamers recently, I covered a channel that was literally stealing the Critical Drinker's voice and doing AI videos as the Critical Drinker.
Oh no!
Like it was insane, and the voice was dead on.
The shark is targeting her family out of revenge. Like it's the Godfather, and they massacred his boy.
I hear Andre
the shark has a vendetta.
The Godfather.
I'm no marine biologist, but not so sure that's
This
how
is
the
AI
force
Andre.
works. But then again, considering how many sharks the Brody family has killed, the shark may have a point. They have single-handedly killed more sharks than global
You're
warming.
fired,
to this
Andre.
point. So
Yeah,
I can
we don't
see
need
why
you,
he would
Andre.
have a vendetta for the Brody
I'm
family.
curious, can you tell the difference between that and me, the real me?
I can.
Yeah, yes.
Well,
Because
because
what-
it sounds like it's coming on a podcast booth microphone, and you sound like you're sitting in your office.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it sounds professionally done, so I know it's not you.
It's too professional.
That's because I made it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And also, to me, from my own ears, AI Andre sounds Swedish.
Yeah, I can tell the difference right away.
Yeah.
But now the average listener, it'd
99%
probably take
of
them
the
a little
viewers
bit.
won't know.
I
No.
thought it was a Swedish Chef Muppets segment being played. I was just like, oh,
Come on.
man,
Hurdy-gurdy midnight edging and the Ghostbusters
Come on.
come in and they do flim bay the room. And then if it wasn't for the Spider-Man, the thing would have been a Woody tour.
Speaking of Muppets and puppets, did everyone
Yeah.
enjoy Sesame Street once again celebrating Kwanzaa the other day?
No.
really?
Oh, yeah. They haven't
What's
mentioned
funny-
Christmas since 1978, but they do
Oh, really?
celebrate Kwanzaa. Yeah.
I do.
Really?
I watch Christmas Eve on Sesame Street every Christmas season because it's one of the all-time greats. But
What year did that come out, Marvin?
gosh, I don't know.
Are you talking about the one that was still with Mr. Hooper in it or whatever?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
way back in the day.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't actually
early.
have
78.
access to that. I have not seen that since I was a little kid.
Oh, I have it.
That was one of the only Sesame Streets they'd repeat. Now, mind you, they would repeat segments, but they would never repeat episodes. And that was one of the few times they would actually repeat an episode. It was a Christmas special.
Yeah, it's called
on
Christmas
PBS,
Eve on
yeah.
Sesame Street. Yeah, I think you could find it on YouTube in full. Actually,
I bet you
Yeah,
could. It'd be worth it.
Probably.
Now they do this Kwanzaa thing every year. They brought Michael B. Jordan out in 2023, I think, and so they do it every year the day after Christmas.
I saw them. I saw the
Hmm.
teaser for the Muppet Show the other day.
Oh,
And I'm very much like not looking forward to it at all because it's Seth Rogen
Yeah.
as the producer. But I was watching it and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll be able to unplug and forget that Seth Rogen is the producer of this, forget that he's a part of it. And then one of the last shots of the teaser is Seth Rogen being like, I always wanted to be here. And
I'm
was
kind of
like,
like a Muppet.
my brother.
You could always go
like,
back and watch the original series. I think it's available on DVD and Blu-ray.
Well, not all of it, unfortunately. Disney only released a couple, or they only released a couple seasons for it. Disney got a hold of it, and now you can only watch it on Disney Plus from season, I think, 3 onward. And of course, that's where a lot of the more famous
They have the
ones.
first season on there.
I know, but I'm saying you can only get the first 2 seasons on DVD.
Oh yeah.
They didn't release any subsequent seasons.
Right.
Which, of
You
course, like season 3 is where like the Luke Skywalker episode
Yeah.
is, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the most famous episodes you can't get your hands on because they were in season 3, 4, and 5, which are only on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's if they're on there at that time.
I mean, look,
sometimes they pull them off.
I'm a Muppet super fan. Obviously, I got a Kermit picture back there. My brother-in-law got me this for Christmas. I mean, so I should be over the moon at a new Muppet show. But then I hear Matt Vogel not sounding like Kermit the Frog. And then I see Seth Rogen, and I'm just like, I am in no way interested in this.
There's a turd in this punch bowl. I don't think I'll drink any of
Yeah.
it.
Seth Rogen is that turd. Kenneth
I-
LaRoche.
you know,
Yeah, being my favorite flavor.
It's funny,
Yeah.
those first 2 seasons also have a lot of actors that were really old vaudevillian actors. So when my wife and I were watching it, she's like, who is Zero Mostel? You know,
That's
like,
what I was
well,
saying. Is it kind of got? It wasn't until like the 3rd or 4th season where they started to get actual
Yeah.
movie
Attracting-
stars.
The
and-
yes.
The
like
first
that, yeah.
season, like the biggest name I think is Vincent Price in the first season.
Exactly, and I think
Yeah.
Alice Cooper was which
Yeah.
season? Like might be one of the earlier ones,
So
but yeah.
because nobody knew what this was, and it was such a niche thing that no one knew if it was going to succeed or fail. So everyone that's on the first season, every celebrity guest is either a friend of Jim Henson's or somebody who was also represented by Jim Henson's manager.
Right. Yeah,
That's
because it was
exactly
basically
right.
a cast off of SNL is what it was.
Well, what
Yeah,
I'm
for those
hoping
who may
is
not
this
know,
Seth
yeah.
Rogen version will have people like, Ava DuVernay, Mark Ruffalo, Billy
yeah.
Ellis, really.
Sabrina
people-
Carpenter's the first guest, so right
Oh,
away.
great. Wonderful.
Actually, I was going to say that's going to be a big deal, but like,
My
Yeah.
my favorite Jewish Godzilla is less than Zero Mostel.
I love it.
you went a long way for that one.
That
But
was-
I can't wait to hear
I
Miss.
waited for a pause in the conversation just to get
Look,
that out.
unlike unlike Stranger Things, the destination was worth the journey.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to hear Miss Piggy sing WAP. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh,
Whoa,
please don't.
that would be good.
Because remember, they always do like pop songs
Yep.
or classic songs with
Yep.
like a little Muppet twist. So yeah.
Oh, Lizzo will be on the show.
I think there's hope for the show, only because I think Seth Rogen's sense of humor kind of fits the Jack Burns style. It's cheesy humor.
Somebody
We'll see.
somebody said to me, "Oh, is there a bigger downgrade in a recasting of a character than Matt Vogel as Kermit the Frog?" I said, "Yes, the new voice of Big Bird, which is also Matt Vogel.
Oh boy.
Matt Vogel takes over these classic characters, and then they stop putting those characters in the show. Like
They
from
stop being
what I
plastic.
Yeah, from what I understand, Big Bird is hardly in Sesame Street anymore. And like in the last couple of Muppet things, Kermit has been very secondary character because they're just like, we understand that this does not sound like Kermit. And I'm like, then why'd you do it?
Why is
It's
he
not
so
easy,
popular as a
baby.
voice actor then?
I think he's just a Disney company man when it comes to the Muppets. Like they got rid of Steve Whitmire, who was Jim Henson's chosen successor. He was
Frank
the
Oz
guy-
doesn't even come near him anymore.
Frank Oz won't go anywhere near it because he refuses to play ball with what they want to do. And then you've got, Jerry Nelson is dead. Richard Hunt is dead. Obviously, Jim Henson is dead. And so the only original Muppet performer that you really still have is
David
Dave
Goelz.
Goelz. Yeah, who plays Gonzo and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. So, yeah, that's why, like, when they're like, oh, we got rid of Muppet Vision 3D in Walt Disney World, I'm like, well, then you killed the original Muppets. It was the only thing that had all the, like, Richard Hunt is in it, and Jerry Nelson, and Steve Whitmire, and you got rid of that, and now you're going to put them in Rock and Roller Coaster with Matt Vogel as Kermit the Frog. I don't want that.
That thing at Disney World, which you mentioned, the Muppets 3D, was fantastic.
It was the last thing Jim Henson ever personally made for the Muppets. And
Wonderful,
they were
absolutely wonderful.
They're like, we need Monsters Inc. This has got to go.
You know, I hope they do okay. ABC's already put me off the Muppets, and I'm over it. I'm in my 50s. I hope it's fine, but I have very little confidence in Seth Rogen being mindful, thoughtful, respectful. I just feel like it's probably, he's sort of like that kind of guy you would hang out with, get drunk or stoned or whatever with, and then he would be the one that would always suggest doing something that you normally wouldn't want to do, like, oh, don't do that, no, please don't, and he's going to do something, he's going to bend it till it breaks, and that just seems like Seth's modus operandi.
I guarantee you the Electric Mayhem is getting high by the first episode.
I was just going to say that, Marvin. I said, here's the problem with Seth Rogen. He's the most unoriginal bastard there is, right? Exactly what he's going to do. He's going to do the most obvious joke, right? He's going to have the Electric Mayhem getting high. He's going to be doing all that stupid shit like Marvin just said. This is the same shit he did to Ninja Turtles.
Like,
yeah, how offensive can he get with the Muppets? That's how far he'll go.
You always like the Electric Mayhem getting high was always like a like it was a subtle joke. It was like a like it would go over kids'
like
heads,
Scooby and Shaggy.
Exactly. It's gonna be so on the nose. Like they're gonna open the door to their dressing room and smoke is gonna come pouring out. Like one of my favorite jokes in the Muppets Go to Walt Disney World is Dr. Teeth goes, think about it. What is it that all rock musicians love to do more than anything else? And Animal goes, I know. And he goes, besides that. And like, that's a good joke. That's a good Jim Henson joke. And yeah, all that subtlety is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, let's see what you guys were talking about. We got Kenneth LaRock for a member chat here. It says, hey all, I hope everyone had a good new year. Well, so far for myself, not so much, but the rest of the band, hopefully they're doing well. Speaking of bands, Mark Fields is here, and he says, positive vibes to you all. Here's to a beautiful new year. Well, thank you for that, Mark, and same to you. Then Dearest sends in $5 to say, I've seen shorts where AI was used to dub over real people. AI could have changed the truth of originals. AI will break trust. Authentic. Yeah, well, this is an authentic media. Well, this is where they're talking about where celebrities and certain other dignitaries and other people are kind of concerned about this, and they should be. They should have been worried about this a long time ago. But now they're a little late to the game. But yeah, like Andre said, he's already been duped by a video that he thought was Jordan Peterson. And now he realizes, oh, all that shit that I just heard him say, that's not even Jordan Peterson.
Yep,
none of it is probably true.
Yeah,
another one I noticed is the ads. Have you guys noticed these AI ads where they're the people and the whole thing is completely AI generated?
Yeah, and then they want to teach you AI to become unstoppable.
Yeah, it's when you were talking about YouTubers being scraped, the bigger fear is that they're going to be duplicating people like Critical Drinker. They're not going to be duplicating small channels like myself.
No, and that's what I was getting at.
Well, actually, this is something, because here's the thing. We were already duplicated by way of people just straight out taking our videos and re-uploading them as our own.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the
old
new
style.
New version of that is going to be creating, if you have a brand, why wouldn't someone create new videos using your brand and take the commercial revenue for themselves? What can you do to stop it?
And I don't think the algorithm is capable of recognizing that they've stolen another voice if they revoice Critical Drinker with an AI facsimile.
No, they're probably all big fans of it. Get rid of him.
It's true, but Linus Tech Tips, things like that, massive channels like that, those are prime for being duplicated.
And like, it's funny because it's almost like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Well, that's
with
my
some of
point.
these larger creators, because they make a lot of money off of things like Friday Night Tights and the Critical Drinker, open bar and stuff like that. YouTube pulls in, 30% of what those shows bring in, and they bring in a lot.
It's not helpful for them in the long run to support AI content.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's to the point now where I mean, I know a lot of people have said to me, like, the money in YouTube is in live streaming right now, and
is it?
That's what I've been told by a bunch of people. So,
well, that depends entirely. Well, here's the thing: if they say that, then that's a testament to how bad things have gone when the money is no longer in the regular videos, because usually that's how you build a channel. That's
Yeah.
the cornerstone. After you've been established, that's when you can start doing live shows. I mean, for anyone wanting to start out right now, it's going to be a major uphill struggle to compete against a million other live streams. That's what's going to be next, isn't it?
There's
Mhm.
gold in
As
them
long as
there
they don't
hills.
take away my police webcam videos, as long as they don't screw that up, I'm
I
happy.
do love those. I love the body cam
The
videos.
problem is you
I love
can't even trust those anymore, because I mean, half of those are increasingly AI as well. Certainly
Yes.
the ones in court, especially if you see like shorts versions of them.
Right. And you can see the ones where they have taken the original video from someone else's feed, where they actually do real commentary and have repurposed it with AI. It's getting tiresome. It's not going to help YouTube. People are going to turn away from the system if they don't lock it down.
Yeah, indeed. And also on that note, the Wild Zephyr is saying, says, I've been a member for 36 months, saying the mukbang community is getting destroyed right now. They absolutely deserve it, but the overall trend is deeply troubling.
Isn't that just people
yeah.
eating?
Yes, mukbang, that's like people eating. I personally do not understand the fetishization with that, but I can well
Is that why people
believe-
like that? It's like a kink thing.
Well, I guess I don't know. If we have any mukbang watchers out there, please let me know the appeal of it. I can only imagine. You have like feeders and stuff like that. That's like a fetish thing to like. Yeah.
The only thing like that I want that in that stratosphere that I watch, I love the professional like eating challenge channels like Beard Meets Food, where it's like this skinny guy is gonna just house like 20 pounds of food in like 30 minutes. Like
Well,
I
dude,
find
then
those.
Paul has a recommendation for a Hungarian movie for you if you're into eating competitions, don't you?
Oh
Paul?
boy. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
And you got that recommendation from me. So,
Yeah.
Taxidermia, check it out.
I will.
I'm not watching that movie again.
But it was fun the first time you did see it, though.
Yeah, it was something. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Creative.
Yeah. But no, because like you have all of these videos of these AI fat slobs wanting to get into Burger King and hijacking entire buffets and stuff like that. How's a real mukbang content creator supposed to compete with that?
So they're making AI videos now of people eating.
Yeah.
This is why RAM is $800 right now.
Not
Yep.
just people eating, but like real fat slobs, like fatties out of Judge Dredd, going completely nuts in narcissistic rages in buffets and stuff like that, wanting everything for themselves. How's a poor mukbang creator supposed to compete with that? So yeah, I can well see that they're struggling. And then Jason Webster says for $10 with Indiana Jones and the Diaper of Dysentery, Thunderbolts, Heroes on Prozac, Fantastic Four, Baby Pooh, and Mud Brown and the 7 CGI abominations, we know what to expect from Disney in 2026.
Well
I
done, Jason.
I thought it was Mud Brown and the 7 Discord mods.
Oh, no. Well done, Jason.
Absolutely. Well, actually, let's take a break from AI chat and super chats and get into one of the topics that we want to talk about today, because it's 2026. The year has just started. So Variety, they had 5 different writers get together to write a relatively brief article, which is still probably AI augmented, where they come up with Variety's 2026 media predictions. The Odyssey domination, Disney CEO shuffle, and more. So let's go through their predictions. And their first prediction is for what will be the biggest hit movie of the year 2026. And they decree it's going to be The Odyssey. you know, the upcoming Chris Nolan movie.
It will not
This
be.
is what Variety says. This is going to be the biggest movie of the year. Do we agree with that, or do we see anything bigger
No.
on the horizon?
Spider-Man Brand New Day will be the biggest movie of the
Spider-Man
year.
probably, yeah, right.
Yeah, it won't. Well, it won't be Avengers. It should be Avengers, but it won't be because nobody cares about that. I mean, Warner Brothers is not
And
even.
Spider-Man's not in it.
Yeah, and Spider-Man's not. But Spider-Man is still the most recognizable superhero on the planet. He's the most profitable superhero on the planet. Spider-Man is, and those movies have not disappointed yet. So I think that the Spider-Man movie is going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Spider-Man comes out at the end of July. When does the Odyssey come out?
Is that in the
First of
summer or
June.
is that Christmas?
It's summer. It comes to the next
Yeah.
time in the summer. I do not
It does
recall
have
the
Tom.
date. Isn't it?
You just cut out, Marvin.
Oh, I said it does have. Both of them have Tom Holland in it.
Yes.
You gotta say Spider-Man. So
So he's certainly going to be the box office king this year.
I mean, I'm not saying that
Like-
the Odyssey is not going to do well, but I wonder if it even is going to feel like it was made by a human. That's going to be the first test.
well, it wasn't made by a human. It was made by Christopher Nolan.
That's my point. Like, I get it. Everybody wants to suck his cock, but I think he is one of the most overrated filmmakers in the world. He's made 3 decent movies, and the rest are very overrated, fucking like over pretentious garbage.
What's the 3,
No,
Tom?
he's not a human being. He is somebody literally took the scent of their own farts and made a human being out of it, and it became Christopher
And the 3
Nolan.
good films are Insomnia, Inception, and Dunkirk. Those are his
I would
3
I
good
would
movies.
put I like the first 2 Batman movies.
I like Batman.
Well, if you
Begins.
count those, yeah, those are. I wouldn't call those Nolan films per se.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, though. I guess. Okay, fair enough. Add
And
those to the
also,
mix.
Insomnia is actually a remake.
it is
The
It's
Prestige is the best movie he's ever made.
true. I
If
have
you
not
haven't-
seen that one yet. Everybody
Oh
keeps
my
saying
gosh.
that,
If you
so-
don't see any Christopher Nolan movies, watch that one. That's the best. And go
But-
in without spoilers. I promise you, it has a payoff that will blow your mind. It is
I'm
That's the one
curious,
with
though.
Wolverine.
yes,
Wolverine
and
is in
Christian
it.
Bale.
Yes.
My
So
main
and
it's,
Michael
question
it's the Nolan movie with Batman and Wolverine.
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
how will
it's great.
Tenet affect that? Because a lot of people
And
didn't
David
care
Bowie.
for Tenet.
As Nikolai Tesla.
Yeah.
We'll see how that
Sorry.
rolls after Tenet, though. I don't think Tenet.
I think you
did him any
don't
favors.
bet against Nolan. It's gonna do well. We know this
Yeah.
because first of all, it's based on literature. So you've got a lot of high-minded people who are just going to be compelled to see it, like going to see Beowulf when it came out, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to work. And Christopher Nolan does have cachet with a lot of people still. And so they're going to go see it regardless.
Yeah.
It's going to do well.
And the sirens will be topless.
I hope so. I think, though, that Variety makes a mistake if they're not mentioning Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think that's ludicrous.
They did.
Well, they didn't.
Yes.
That's
That's
exactly right.
ludicrous.
They didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so basically, we respect their choice for the Odyssey, but we don't really agree with it. At least most here don't. And then moving on with their predictions, they are of the opinion that Netflix is going to win Warner. So Ellison will be crying.
It will be. I think that
Yeah.
honestly, the point behind that is that there are certain people out there that do not want the Ellisons to get CNN.
Yep.
I think that's what it all comes down to is you will not sell them CNN.
Well, Netflix has the cash for this. They've got the reach. They've got the appetite for this. I think the only issue I think is going to stop this, not even stop it, but the regulators are going to drag their feet like they're getting paid by the hour. There's not going to be any momentum on this. And if Netflix will protect the HBO brand, whatever, they've got the wallet to do
I
it.
hope that they find something to stop this from going through.
Me too.
Fucking
But I don't
hope
think
so.
they will.
But I don't
I-
think so either, because I sat down and talked about it with Script Doctor, and like I said, the best conclusion we could come up with is that they might make them get rid of HBO Max.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, you can buy it, but you can't buy HBO Max. That would make you too big as far as a streamer. That's the only thing I could see getting away.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to survive regulation, but I mean, for the most part, they're saying they want to keep it, keep Warner Brothers as is. I think they just want to change the name to Warner Butt Brothers.
Well,
Sorry.
and here's the thing, like I get it, and there was a recent report that came out today. I don't know how true it is. That the rumor is, if they do get this, that they'll want to shorten the theatrical release date to 17 days.
That's insane.
I don't know. I can't believe that, especially after they just made $25 million from a fucking TV show in theaters. Like at some point,
Is that the
somebody,
number? Because they refused to release the
that's what I
financials
heard
on
was
that.
$25 million is what Stranger Things made. And if that's the case, I cannot believe somebody at Netflix and the higher up isn't finally going, look, we're leaving so much money on the table and making our properties so much more valuable by not putting them in theaters, even if it's just for a couple months. Like this whole idea of destroying the theatrical window, and they're just allowing people to do this. And Netflix is the main source of this. And if anything, the regulators should go, no, you can't do this because you're going to destroy another industry because we know you've already done it. And they did it. They were the ones who killed their own industry with Netflix. People forget that. Netflix didn't start out as a streamer. They rented discs to you through the mail. And they were the ones that decided, no, we're going to cancel that. We're done with that. And they single-handedly pretty much put an end to discs. They're the reason why we're at this point where we're lucky if in another 5 years we don't have DVDs anymore.
I was just going to say, I think that's probably the byproduct. Sorry, Paul, but I think there will be no more Warner Brothers Blu-rays and DVDs if Netflix is in charge.
Probably.
Probably not.
Never again.
Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say they had the foresight to call themselves Netflix.
Yeah, the
Yep.
names they were batting around were terrible. They really picked a great name for themselves. And that's sort of, is that their mission statement? I mean, think about it. It's the net. We are on the internet. So it's flicks on the net, not in the cinemas, right?
Well, kind of. You went to the internet to order your DVD discs from there rather than to go to a physical brick and mortar location to rent them. Because that's how they started out. It was like rental on disc only, rather than you went to a physical store, you went online and they would mail it to you by post. That's the origin of the name. How the times have changed.
Yeah, remember when everybody said, oh, you guys are idiots when they separated the Netflix part with the streaming side and kept the Netflix name over there and changed the mailing part? I can't even remember the name they used anymore. But it really, all it was just, everybody's like, you're destroying your business. And they're like, yeah, so. They knew what they were fucking doing then. And they know what they're fucking doing now. They're not stupid.
You do have to admire their vision and
I absolutely
how they were
do.
ahead of everyone.
Cutthroat as fuck as it is, and it destroyed one of my most favorite things in my life. But no, I totally get it, Andre.
Yeah,
You
have to you just have to admire, kind of like you have to admire a white shark for the perfection in evolution that created it. It's kind of like the thing here, like, wow, you couldn't be a more perfect predator in business and for media if you tried.
But even
Yeah,
sharks need a bit of luck. And without the deal with Stars at the very beginning, I don't think Netflix would have been able to get the jump start that they needed.
That's a good point. Do you think they would have been able? Do you think they would have been as successful had Blockbuster bought them?
Probably
Because I don't
not.
think Blockbuster would have. I don't think it would have nurtured the net side of the thing because they wouldn't have wanted to damage the brick and mortar side. So I think it would have been. Honestly, they would have actually saved our ass. To be honest, I wish we could go back in time and tell Blockbuster, just buy them. You're making the biggest mistake of your life by not buying them, because they would have saved the industry at that point.
Yep, and it would have. Man, I got so many DVDs in those last few years of Blockbuster by just going to a Blockbuster, renting like 5 DVDs, and then just waiting for it to go out of business.
You bum.
That's funny.
Well,
you know,
as much as I
You
hate
should have
them-
rented 50 and helped them go out of business sooner than
Yeah,
you remember
Marvin, you bastard.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. Netflix offered themselves to Blockbuster, and Blockbuster turned them down. And then once Netflix kept growing, that's when Blockbuster suddenly said, "Hey, maybe we need to get into this rentals by mail." And
They did try that, right?
Yeah, it was $20.
They did. It was too late already by that point.
Yeah,
Because they actually had the better deal, because you could
Yep,
actually go
unlimited.
through your local Blockbuster And
Well, and you could
drop
also
your
get
mo-
an unlimited number of DVDs.
Yeah, and you could drop the movies off there and rent brand new movies right from your Blockbuster. But if your store didn't have something, then you could go online and get it and then deal with it all that way. And it was a lot faster and more convenient in some ways than Netflix was. But it didn't matter. It was too fucking late. They were way late to the game, and yeah.
I still have GameFly. They still use that model because they mail you games.
That's right. It was just 20 years
Wow,
ago,
they still
I guess.
exist.
This
Yeah, it
year,
does.
2026, when Netflix started working on their algorithms and getting ready to launch streaming video. They didn't launch streaming video till 07.
Yep. I remember I watched some of the first they had jack shit on for
Yeah.
the earlier stuff. It was just a bunch of documentaries, a couple of TV shows, like old ass shit.
Yep.
And a couple of movies, like random shit. But so like next thing on the list here is it looks like they talk about Bob Iger finally
They
leaving.
do.
Yeah,
They
right.
talk about
damn it when I
Bob
see it.
Iger having made a pinky promise that he's going to be leaving for real this time, and they talk about who is going to be his replacement.
They
Talk
made
about the options, and just to give a spoiler, we can see if they're right or not. They think it's going to go to Josh D'Amaro. Marvin, you researched this extensively. Do you
Oh
agree with
yeah,
the assessment?
it's got to be Josh D'Amaro unless they are just going to, say damn all facts and all numbers and go with Dana Walden just for the optics of it. I know Bob Iger and his wife really wanted to be Dana Walden, but you cannot justify it being anyone but Josh D'Amaro if you're going with an inside hire. But the main thing is Bob Iger is not going anywhere. Even if he says that he's leaving, he will stay on in a quote advisory role in which he will still run the company from his shower from the shower in his office.
Yeah, from his two shower office, exactly.
CEO emeritus Bob Iger.
I could see it. The only way I could see Dana Walden getting in there though is if they end up going with the co-CEO thing like Netflix does, and they make it both Josh D'Amaro and Dana Walden. I could see that happening because she does have connections with a lot of celebrities, and she is more of a Hollywood person, while Josh D'Amaro is more of a parks and experiences person. So
yeah, I feel like, but either of them's a bad choice. What they need a Zaslav, or they need a killer with taste. They don't need a caretaker, but Disney's just going to make the safe decision.
Yeah. Can I just correct you a little bit there? Because I agree completely with your assessment, but it's we that need them to get a Zaslav. So it's a matter about which Disney are we talking about here.
Right.
Because we, the fans of Disney as an institution and their legacy, we are the ones that need them to get an outsider. We need them to get a David Zaslav. They, the cockroaches that have taken over the company right now, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, the State Street, those guys, they need another Bob Iger because he does their bidding. And that's exactly what they get in Josh D'Amaro. So here's the difference of who needs what.
They want it. You're right. There are plenty of people, executives, that want the same thing. They don't want any disruption in whatever they're used to doing. But after that Ella McKay movie that just tanked so bad they canceled it going overseas in a lot of markets, somebody needs to say, WTF, we got to fix this. I don't know when it's going to happen. It doesn't help when Zootopia does so well, right?
That tells me that they don't pre-sell their shit. And I think Marvin's right, because that's a win-win scenario, because it basically makes Bob Iger look good because he needs two people to replace him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
And then the other side of it is they're puppets. They're going to do exactly what you want.
They're definitely puppets.
Bob is obsessed with legacy. Bob is obsessed with his legacy, and if Bob is involved in this selection process, Bob is going to pick the person that's going to continue doing the Bob Iger things. Just like when Kennedy said that when she eventually steps aside, she's going to be involved in the decision as to who takes over. It means that it's going to be someone that's going to keep doing Kathleen Kennedy things. You're getting more of the same because these people because they're not getting fired. They're stepping away and naming their replacement, essentially.
Marvin, I would ask you to please stop just calling him Bob. He is Sir Iger. He is a honorary member of the Knight of the Order of the British Empire. So I don't know what you're talking about
No,
that he's concerned with legacy, but he is a knight, sir.
He is a hack weatherman named Bob. Isn't it amazing?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it amazing though that a TV weatherman has no personality? Like every time he's in front of the camera, he looks like he wants to crawl his way into the ground to get away from it. And I'm like, what were you like as a weatherman?
And he's so stiff-necked too.
Oh.
It's just it's painful. I think I don't disagree with anything you say, Marvin, about the succession. I just think that Disney's just going to keep dying a slow death with a smile on their face if they don't change things up and get.
And that's they're like, well, we made $6 billion at the box office this year. Okay, well, what was your profit margin?
Yeah.
How much profit did you make? Because I bet you're not the most profitable. Yes, you made the most gross of any studio, but you probably also spent the most of any studio. And I doubt that your profit margin exceeds that of what Warner Brothers did this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they spent the most, and by wide margin is that. I mean, that's part of the culture, is to raise money.
We're going through this Variety
sailors.
article, Andre, and even Variety gave Warner Brothers the high score last week as far as how studios went. And Disney's had a B or B minus. They got a mixed report card. So, I mean, everyone knows that Disney's not, hitting on all cylinders.
This live stream will be more profitable than most of Disney's movies this year if it makes $1 of profit.
Probably. And then rounding out this article, they talk about, can Hollywood get its arms around AI? Because that is the big thing here, is copyright theft, everything like that. And here they don't really know anything. There's no solid predictions given here. Here is just some discussion back and forth. Expect the industry to explore similar strategies as Disney, with who are teaming up with OpenAI to basically steal fan content and monetize it as their own. So yeah, no firm conclusions there. And then moving on to the small screen, they have questions, but they have no real answers.
Yeah.
And this was the article that was written by 5 writers. These 5 writers need to worry about AI.
I think that Variety's biggest prediction is that 2026 is going to be the gayest year in Hollywood history.
Well, that certainly was the case with Stranger Things. And Marvin, I know that you have to leave. You're maybe even a little bit on overtime. But before you go, you wrote a story also that it would be fun to hear you talk a little bit about. I'm going to bring that up right here. So here we go. Duffers defend Stranger Things will scene. Variety, again, reframes measured comments as strike against toxic fans. So, Marvin, take us through this.
This was an insane story. So the Duffers were asked about the backlash, and they basically said that they didn't see it coming, but they also talked about, like, we stand by the decision. We're very proud of our performer. We really wanted to get this right. This is how it goes into the story. Very measured response, not going after anyone. Variety frames this as the Duffers just hit back at toxic fan review bombing and homophobia.
Well, it's because they need it, and this is like Kelly Marie Tran shit all over again.
It seriously is.
But just to say, like I said, that I didn't want to defend Netflix, but I was saying this the whole time. It's like, this was the Duffer Brothers' choice to put this in. It's not like they got a note from Netflix saying make the character gay.
You know what? I'm sure Netflix didn't mind it though, because
but I'm just saying, like, they didn't get a note saying make the character gay was my point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. And if they're correct that they've been planning this reveal for 9 years, then they got an 11-year-old actor and decided who was not like, he was 11, and they just decided that he was gay and that this character had to be gay, and then eventually the actor becomes gay. So what does that tell you?
Wait a minute. There's a character named 11 on the show. They decided 11 years. This is too weird.
It's all the Da Vinci Code.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So they gave a very. I thought what they gave was a very measured, respectful response. They're not going to be like it was a mistake. We regret it. But I think what
That would be hilarious if they did, though.
it would, yeah. But Variety ran with it was review bombing and homophobic bigotry and toxic fandom, and they were putting words in these poor guys' mouths, and to the point where I'm just like, why does anyone talk to Variety anymore? Between what Mark Malkin did to Superman, and between what they're doing to these guys right now, it is insane that anyone even talks to these people anymore.
I will say that there was a lot of knee-jerk reaction to the coming out moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big nothing burger, and for those people who are making their money on rage baiting, this quite possibly could be the least significant story that they probably have ever covered.
Well, so I don't think there was no problem with the character being gay, because we've had characters come out on this show before. Robin did it in season 3. The problem was from a narrative perspective, from a writing perspective, they stopped the plot in the penultimate episode as they are getting ready to go stop the apocalypse, which is imminent. A planet is about to smash into them, and he's like, "Hold on, I have an announcement." Yeah.
Well,
I have
this
is what I was saying. Is gay is not a plot point, right? Like that's my problem with it.
And I had a bigger and my problem as written, it had no significance to the story. I wrote about the fact that in the 80s I had a good friend who came out, and we gave him the gears because that was fun, and he laughed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I mentioned this before in a previous show. And nobody gave him the gears, which I thought, okay, that's very un-80s.
Yeah.
And the fact is that there was nothing else that later on transpired because of it. You're not good or bad because of who you choose to boink. That is not a character trait, and the show had nothing to do about it, to do with it. But I can see it from two straight virtue signaling writers who want to kind of parade an idea that they think is going to be very forward thinking, when in fact we're beyond it. No one cares. I would say the bigger, weirder moment in the show was when 4 of the characters were drinking beer on some rooftop, and it was a very anti-capitalist conversation.
Yep.
I went, okay, this stood out. That stood out more for me than Will admitting that he's gay to a whole bunch of people who already know he is.
I also loved the 2 straight men who've been vying for the strong and powerful female stop the plot to have a conversation amongst themselves about how stunning and brave she is and how neither of them deserve her.
It was all very hacky. It was
horrible.
It
was horrible. It was one of the worst stuck landings of all time. Sorry, Chris.
I just feel like that scene is like stopping to say, I like taffy, or I masturbate. Or, like, who cares? Where is this? What is the point? The world is ending. And even if the Duffers said they were surprised, which you shouldn't be, if you are going to inorganically insert identity politics into your show, then you may as well. It's like being surprised that you got hit with shrapnel when you threw a grenade into the room next to you. I don't understand why anyone is ever surprised.
Yeah, that's when you sue the manufacturer.
I don't know. I mean, it's just like I'm kind of tired of this toxic fandom label. Basically, you did something that people didn't like. They didn't like it, and because they disagree with you doesn't make them toxic. The fact that we have social media is what makes people toxic.
Mm-hmm. But my point in this article, though, was that the Duffers were not calling fans toxic here. The Duffers were not saying there was review bombing.
They were surprised though.
Yeah, but but the Duffers weren't attacking the fans. But Variety is making it seem like they were.
Yeah,
like they're aligned with Variety against the
like you pointed out, like they did to James Gunn and the Superman crew, and tried to make Superman a much more political film than it actually was. Yeah, that's kind of in the same thing with Kelly Marie Tran and the other things. That I can see what you're saying here. Like that's exactly what they're doing.
And Chris, I have some pushback. And what you said is that I think the people who harped on the gayness were toxic. The people who said, this was what a waste of time.
I don't know. I saw some pushback. Maybe that's what you saw, Paul, and I'm not going to debate that. But I personally know someone who had been watching it with their family. So this is their Christmas episode. And this person is a person of faith, you know, they're conservative, and they felt it was very unnecessary. And it sort of added an awkward pall amongst the family viewing when the little girl's like, what, you know, so
Well,
it's sort of an unnecessary.
That you can't argue that. That's a different level.
But here's the thing, Paul, is what you're talking about is I've seen maybe as the tertiary argument to this. The first one being the timing of it, right? Because most people were already kind of had the idea that this character was gay. And like we said, the fact that they came to a complete dead halt in the middle of a catastrophe to have this scene.
Yeah,
and then the other side of this is, let's be real. In the 1980s, in most cases, if you came out to your teenage friends, they would say, yeah, we all know, quit acting like a fag and move on. That's exactly what would happen. That's the problem here is it's an unrealistic situation. You have, not that the show itself isn't unrealistic, but you're trying to do a show where these kids are supposed to be in the 80s. I'm sorry, we threw around the F word all the time in the 80s. It was like it was no big deal. Okay, so that was kind of my whole point with saying that, is that the way they treated this is that the virtue of it, the whole thing, and that's why I keep saying gay is not a fucking plot point, right? Like the only time it's ever been a plot point was Ellen. And even then that pretty much destroyed the show because it never hit its peak after that again. That was it. To me, that's always been a gimmick for a show. Just like Roseanne, that was another thing they pulled. This has never been a thing where it's ever been a part of a show where it's actually been worthy. It's always just been a very special episode this fucking week. And that's exactly what they tried to pull here again, and it didn't pan out for them. But at this point, the reason that didn't pan out for him is because the audience is so knee-jerk against this that to actually, I think, to say that people are being mean about it, or however you want to put it, Paul, I get where you're coming from, but I don't see that as much. I only seen maybe, honestly, I've never heard anybody say anything about the fact that he was gay being the problem. It's always been the placement of the situation and the reaction to it. That has been the two main issues.
I said that
I've seen some. I mean,
I have, but I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying.
I said that the best ending possible would have been, after everything is all said and done, it cuts back to them still as little kids from the first season in the basement. It was all a huge D&D campaign, and Will is like, "What the hell, Mike? You let Lucas make me gay?" And he's like, "Dude, he rolled a 40." I'm more concerned about the fact that Dustin turned my mom into an action hero. And he's like, "Dude, your mom's hot."
Yeah, and to me, I agree. I'm sure there's some people that have said things that were unnecessary, but I think that the bigger issue, as others have pointed out here, is that they stopped the show to do a virtue signal, and people reacting to that doesn't mean the viewers are toxic. No, it's the creators that are toxic to stopped the show in the first place to force a message, and the really toxic ones are then Variety that make this kind of story and try to make it so that the Duffers are taking a massive stand against so-called toxic fans. The only toxic people are the ones. No, I know that he didn't, but Variety did. They didn't do it.
Variety.
We're talking about Variety. Variety are primarily the toxic ones here, because they are trying to stoke controversy, and they're trying to create this narrative. Oh, look at all the toxic fans. There's no toxic fans. There's people who are objecting. Maybe there's one or two of all of the millions watching. Everyone else was just frustrated over a hopeless virtue signal that shouldn't have been there, or should have been handled differently, which would have been fine if it was handled differently. The really toxic ones are Variety for trying to create controversy out of this, and the environment that led the Duffers into thinking, wow, this is a virtuous thing we are about to do here. It's really important. No, it isn't. Maybe it would have been if you had done it in the 80s, and even then it would have been misplaced.
Yeah.
I as a writer, I've written stuff like this before. I think the thought process is I'm doing the right thing, not I'm trying to be virtuous. I think, but I can't. I'm not.
I think though. I think those
virtuous.
two go hand in
Well, hold on, let
hand.
me finish.
They come from. Sorry, carry on.
So I think there were a lot of mean gay-based memes, which obviously it's going to happen. It's the internet. But on the other side, I think it's also important to mention, I think this is along the lines of what we're talking about with what Variety is doing, which I think is bad, is that you're not allowed to even criticize the fact that this put a giant stop in the momentum of the show. You were immediately labeled a phobe. That is also a problem.
That is a real problem. That is how you create division
That's what I
and
think.
how you create resentment. And that is why, that is the big reason why tolerance of anything queer, including regular homosexuality, which was a total non-issue, has actually gone down in recent years. And that is because of things like this, excessive pride, stuff like that, trans cause, all of these things that create backlash. And that backlash, when the pendulum swings, it's going to swing too hard. And my point is that things like this, when you stop the whole show to make a point,
right,
what you're doing is toxic and it's creating a backlash. And you are right now fighting, because basically you are refighting a fight that already has been won.
Well, and not just that, it's lazy. If you're trying to prove your curricular vitae of goodwill and wokeness, just talking about being gay or identifying a character as gay is probably the laziest way to prove your virtuousness.
Yeah.
There's other ways to do it.
Indeed. And it was detrimental on the show. It is something that the show is going to be remembered for, and I guarantee you, not in a good way.
Yeah, for me, it made no difference. I went, okay, move on.
No, but this is definitely their Game of Thrones moment, Paul. That's the problem. And Variety's not helping. They're making it worse, right? And this is the thing.
To the fans of and as I said in my review, if you're a fan of the show, this final is not. You'll be happy with this finale. That was my overall.
I'm a fan of the show and I hated it.
Okay. Well, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, my opinion is wrong.
Well, and I'm not, and I'm an outside observer, right? I only watched the first season because it took them too long to get to the further seasons after that. So I just fell out, didn't give a shit. But I've been seeing a lot of people compare it to the Game of Thrones finale.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It may not be, but I've been seeing a lot of people compare it to it. And as hyperbolic as the internet might be, you've seen something that was a cultural phenomenon. This was one of the few shows, because I even made the point a few weeks ago when it was at its peak, where they were making a big deal out of the viewership, and I'm like, well, shit. I remember when the average network TV show, whatever the biggest show of the night, would get that many viewers on average, right? 20, 30 million viewers for a TV show on any given night was nothing when it was, primetime TV time back in the day. But now they're acting like it's a big deal, right? Like a big hit now is a show that gets 5 million viewers. We all said it before. That's a show that would have got canceled back in the day. So this is a big deal for them to screw this up this bad. I mean, is it Game of Thrones level? Maybe not, but to the audience so far, to some of them, it is.
Here's my argument that it's not Game of Thrones level. Is that the difference is that the Game of Thrones was how do I say it? It was cooking, like really, really cooking, season after season, until the penultimate season where it fell off a cliff and the final show just kind of put the nail in the coffin. For all intents and purposes, Stranger Things stopped being Stranger Things after season 1. And then it was on just kind of a light boil. And so if you're talking about vectors, the final episode kind of fit into the, semi-boring, weird, rule-changing, show that it was from season 2 on.
Well,
it was
Marvin-
no different. It wasn't like Game of Thrones, which was absolutely insanely good. And then, as I said, I'm repeating myself, then just literally fell off a cliff at the very end. The finale of Game of Thrones just followed the same kind of similar feel and path from season 2 on. That's my theory.
Well, Marvin had to leave us because I
Yeah,
was trying to
bye,
give him
Marvin.
an out there. So check out that Park Place, and thanks for being here, Marvin. We appreciate your time. And with that, I think we're gonna go back into super chats, unless there was anything
are.
else to say.
Yeah.
One other thing
About
about
the Duffer
Marvin,
Brothers.
check out his M4 Empire channel and
Indeed,
M4
do that.
Empire Gaming. Yes. Yes.
Indeed. So let's see what you guys are talking about. We got this one right. I think we did.
Yep. Great titles.
Yeah.
And then Drew Tipton says, I hope people start demanding more quality in their entertainment and not agenda crapola. Well, the only way we can do this is by just not watching it, basically.
This is
That's
the
it.
thing. We people have to vote with their wallets and clicks in large enough numbers. That's always the issue when you don't have monoculture and a fractured populace.
And we do got a couple of Rumble rants from Kalekioki, two of them. Says, as annoying as it is, Hollywood brought their demise among themselves with purchase of Warner Brothers shareholder stock, was selling about $7 a year ago forcefully. Holders are trying to get ahead of this. If their stock was where it rightfully should be, in my opinion, shareholders could have denied, because I truly believe Warner Brothers was likely the last chance for Hollywood to change. Disney's gone. Skydance's head is untrustworthy. Oh, I agree with you completely. And this is, I agree. I see where you're coming from this. So what he's saying is, if their stock was actually where it should be, then the shareholders would be able to reject some of these lowball offers they were getting from people like Ellison. And I agree that they also probably were the last chance Hollywood had. But at this point, it doesn't look good as far as the Netflix deal. Then he adds one more super chat that just flew in, or Rumble rant, sorry. Universal seems directionless, and the only Sony IP worth a damn is Spider-Man. Oh yeah, see, Sony is more or less like what Fox Searchlight was. Outside of their few IPs they have that drive the overall big money, they make little movies and they do fine, and they get picked up by Netflix and they make the money. That's all they need to do. Universal, on the other hand, I don't know. They're kind of a sleeping giant in a way, but they don't have the huge IP that every other studio has. They have a few things like Jurassic Park and a couple other things under their belts, but a lot of their stuff is more, what's the word for it? Like Jaws and other things that'll probably never have more films, if that makes sense. They're like stagnant franchises. I don't know how else to put that.
Yeah. Sony could have done something even bigger with their Venom and Spider-Verse, I guess.
But
And
why
they
should
control Jumanji and Ghostbusters, right? They don't own those IPs.
No, that's the other thing too, is like they used to have more control over Ghostbusters, but now Ghost Corps does.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Sony doesn't exactly have really much for IP at all. Universal has a few things. They have the DreamWorks stuff, they have the animated stuff, and they have, some of their other things. But again, like I said, like Back to the Future, kind of a dead I mean, it makes some money, but they're not going to keep making Back to the Future movies, right? They might make that musical, and that's about it.
Do they have any do they have this Michael Jackson movie, since they have the live music?
I think that's
library?
Lionsgate is releasing that, actually.
Okay.
And I
But,
think
That'd be
that
their
means
other
they-
biggest IP, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Michael Jackson's library.
Yeah, but that means they probably have international rights, because Lionsgate have co-distribution agreements with Sony. So not all,
yeah, I was going to say with
but
Sony.
most Lionsgate movies end up being handled by Sony internationally.
And last I knew, Michael's music was under Sony, not Universal. But I could have been wrong. Anyhow, yeah, no, just quit going to it. Miller says, can we agree that the lack of iMac or LMAC, there is 0% chance of Disney releasing Doomsday in 2026? Dune is a brand ambassador and has my money first. Well, so far they're not budging. So we'll have to see how this works out for them. Unless they change their mind, which could happen. Have any of these trailers actually said, in 2026? Or they just say in Avengers Infinity or Avengers Endgame? Because if they don't say a specific year yet and they haven't said anything on the trailers, there's still a chance they might change shit, and it still could change afterwards. But
It can still change even if there's a change. Like for instance, the very first trailer for The Punisher that came in 2004 said coming in 2003 from Artisan. Then Artisan was bought and became Lionsgate.
Yeah. I think Disney's got a lot of irons in the fire. They got that Mandalorian and Grogu, the worst titled movie of all time. They've got this, they've got obviously Moana 2 and a bunch of other stuff, but I think they're going to stick this in game. I think they're going to hit those dates, or that date, that 2026. Did anybody see the X-Men teaser that came out?
No, not yet.
Yep.
I thought it was AI, but
It
yeah,
looked very AI, didn't it?
They have been.
Well, that's the
trolling me.
problem with these teasers now is someone will say it's a teaser and it'll be so terribly shot on an iPhone that someone will say, well, I can do an AI version of this that's better, but it's still the same scenes. I saw that happen over the weekend. I'm like, man, now I don't know if I'm watching the AI version or the real version.
That's
It just-
one thing, one AI thing that YouTube actually has cracked down upon, namely AI fan-made trailers. Not all, but some of them, like some of the big ones, they are gone because it was annoying the studios because it was cannibalizing views from their real deal, and people
Right.
thought things were real. I mean, there's so many things that people think are coming that is happening, which isn't because of AI bullshit trailers.
Oh, and Facebook is the worst. They got so many of those fake posters where people are
Yeah.
like, I don't. You have no idea how many of my family
Facebook,
members and friends.
it's so dreadful for fake news, spreading hope.
The only
when they're
and the only one
yeah.
I can't tell them is fake is Gremlins 3. I'm like, yeah, that poster's fake, but they are making it. But yeah, because I just get bombarded with.
We're
that
going to
shit. Did you
see
this?
Doomsday, Spider-Man, and Odyssey trailers during the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, for sure.
And they're going to try to make Doomsday happen, and that's another reason why I'm not so sure they're going to move it.
Hmm.
And it's just not going to work because Barbenheimer worked because you had two films that were so diametrically opposed to each other.
They were
The one was for
counter-programmed
the-
to each other.
Exactly. That one was for the ladies and one was for the men kind of thing. This is not that sort of thing. You're not going to have that here.
Well,
'Cause I
and
think
people
it-
are going back to theaters now, Tom. Back then, it was sort of like, well, do we still go to theaters anymore? There was still sort of that COVID air in the air. We're over that.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
But
right.
no, I just don't, because you're cannibalizing the audience at this point. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have a growing female demographic for both of these films because I just don't frankly see men being in either franchise. at this
I would
point.
actually say that I think that Doomsday is going to probably win in the end, but Dune is going to take a big chunk out of it. More people are going to be willing to wait for Doomsday to hit streaming because Marvel is a streaming brand now. Everything Disney is streaming now. Plus, Dune has Chalamet. And
Well,
it's
Dune-
been more cinematic and the more theatrical anyway. This
It
is
is.
the one that you want to see on the big screen.
But it doesn't have to beat Doomsday to win. See, that's the beauty of it, right? It's like Rocky. And I think I made this analogy already. The fact that it's going up against Doomsday and it's not going to move, all it has to do is do $500-600 million and at least better than the last one. And that's a win, right? It has gone the distance. It did what it was supposed to do despite being up against this huge juggernaut. And the juggernaut's not going to do as well. I agree with you, Andre. I think that Doomsday is going to disappoint. They're going to pretend it did well with $1.2 billion, which is probably where it's going to settle. But then we're going to look at that and go, wow, that's half of what you made on Endgame. That's where you're at. Right? And that's kind of what I think
It's
is
the
going
law
to
of
That's my
diminishing
prediction.
returns, guys. It's just
Yeah. And that's if it's lucky. And that's if the movie's actually somewhat good. Like that's the biggest problem Hollywood's facing right now is social media and guys like us. And this is why why they want to get rid of us is because we can change the outcome of a box office in a weekend. One weekend now, not two, right? It used to be, it took a week for bad word of mouth to get around. Oh no, by Thursday previews, if the nerd crew is not into it, you might as well kiss that box office goodbye. And that's one of the other reasons why they want us to go away real fast.
Depends
If
on the
we come-
movie, of course.
Well, right. But if we come out Thursday night out of Doomsday and say this movie is a big piece of fucking shit. It takes a big steaming pile of shit
That's
on
bad.
Robert Downey Jr.'s legacy. It takes a big piling steam of shit on the legacy of Marvel. Then ain't nobody gonna go see it unless it's that fucking bad just so they can see the train wreck. Right? If we come out and say the worst thing that could happen is if we come out and say it's meh, it's mediocre, it's pretty much what you'd expect, then most people will not go to it because, like you just said, Andre, they already know what to expect. They're just going to wait for streaming. Why the fuck would I spend $30 to go see a movie on a regular screen when IMAX is showing Dune? Because that's the other thing is Dune has got all the IMAXs. That's the only reason I think Disney might move Endgame yet, because they don't have any IMAXs. So they might turn around and use that as an excuse. They're going to try and frame it in a way that, oh, we weren't afraid of Dune. We just didn't have any of the IMAX screens, so we just pushed the movie 2 weeks, or we pushed it 6 months, and that's what's going to end up being. And then Drew Tipton asked where your accent went with the AI Andre. Yeah, it is a bit weird what it does with his accent. It did not want to pick up on his accent specifically.
Yeah, speaking of accents and picking up, unfortunately, Mr. Brawley
Has to leave us.
and Chato both have to be leaving. We're a little bit on overtime, but
We are, but
gentlemen,
let's get through the
your
super
wares.
chats, yes.
Yeah.
After we get rid of you. Chris, so go ahead and tell everybody what's going on over at Bleeding Fool.
I mean, what isn't going on at bleedingfool.com, right? So just get over there. We are putting up a review, I think later tonight, about the finale, which I think Paul would mostly agree with about the Stranger Things. But we're reviewing also season 2 of Fallout is out. And
No one's talking about it. That's the point.
I know, it's a shame. Episode 3 just came out, so that's up on our top of the fold. Plus, we talk a little bit about Disney's, or really Hollywood's, copy and paste year for 2026 with so many adaptations and remakes and sequels. So anyhow, guys, I enjoyed it. Happy New Year to everybody. Greatest audience and members ever. And I'm out. Paul, see you guys next week.
Thanks for joining us. Paul?
I don't know. I've got appalling news to write. I've got my TV guide to finish off. I got stuff to do. What can I say? And plus, I've got some business actually heating up today, which I have to attend to, which is why I got to run. There's no rest for the wicked. It's the new year. It's a business day.
You're leaving us too?
Yeah, I got to go. You two will have to stick it out together.
Well, we got to pick on Hollywood Reporter too, because they're just as stupid as Variety.
Men at work.
This is according to them, this is the Hollywood A-list.
And who's on this list?
Adam Sandler, Dwayne Johnson, Jacob Elordi, Jeremy Allen White, Mark Hamill, Michael B. Jordan, and Wagner Moura. And my response to this is only one of these men is an A-lister, and he doesn't make movies for theaters anymore.
Adam Sandler.
Exactly. None of these other people are A-listers. And I'm sorry, Mark Hamill has never been a fucking movie star.
Oh, that's true.
I've argued this 100 million times.
You're right.
Well, then they have changed the definition of A-lister.
They clearly have. And
Just like they did the definition of democracy, they have now changed the definition of A-lister.
Yeah, The Rock is the only one I can allow them to have on here as a mistake, because people keep making the mistake of thinking The Rock is a movie star. That's just it. Where the fuck is Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be very curious to see what their definition is to be on the A-list.
I'm not on it.
Well, of course you're not, Paul, but
yeah, but I guarantee
that's because you got to do more nude scenes.
Yeah. I am very happy to no longer be recognized while I'm walking on the street. I have to say that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And yes, The Rock is famous as fuck, but that doesn't make him a movie star. He can't open a movie. If he doesn't have Jack Black next to him, his biggest hit, I'm not kidding, his biggest hit is Black Adam, and that's considered a flop. If you take all the movies where he's like in an ensemble cast, whether it's a Fast and the Furious or Jumanji, his biggest movies are like Black Adam and Skyscraper.
His best movies are Jumanji.
They might be. I'm not talking about his best. I'm saying as far as highest grossing. But he can't really open a movie. He's never really opened a movie in a way that you could say, oh, The Rock is a big movie star. But anyhow, Paul, you said you had to leave us, so take care of yourself. And
You too,
whatever
guys.
else you got to plug for your
Nothing.
wares.
I've got nothing to plug. Stuff will be excreted as required.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for joining
That's
us.
all I can. I just excrete. I don't publish.
That's his way of saying he's ate his fiber today.
I have to regularly. Lots of things you have to
To
do.
stay
when you're
regular.
71.
Anyhow,
Talk to you
Thank
later,
you for being
gentlemen.
here.
Love
Happy
you
New
all,
Year.
and love the audience. Bye.
take care. Shadow
for
Dancer,
joining.
the Red Mage, sends in 10 to say Andre has a way of speaking no comedy of AI can yet duplicate the original. I think he meant for you to speak this.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Well, you know what I sound like.
Go ahead.
Okay. Andre has a way of speaking. No comedy of AI can yet duplicate the original.
No, that's true. And
Yeah.
he wouldn't even say half the shit that I had him say on there, probably. Jason Webster says, you mean Seth Rogen? Oh. Is he losing his hair? I haven't paid attention. Destiny Captain says, Fuzzy Memories TV has 60-minute segment from the 1979-80 season on The Muppet Show. It's great. I think I've seen that. And I you probably meant this for Marvin. Sorry if you didn't. I missed it. And then Jeremiah Hembry sent me a list of the updated media franchises for the last year on X. Taking a look at it here, yeah, Pokemon still number one, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, Star Wars, Disney princesses, whatever the hell Pan Man is. I have no idea what the hell that is, but it's making money. Barbie, MCU, Wizarding World, aka Harry Potter, Hello Kitty, Call of Duty, Batman, Spider-Man, Transformers, Dungeon Fighter Online, whatever that is, Cars, Candy Crush, Looney Tunes, TMNT, Lion King, Dora the Explorer, and the list goes on, but that's kind of the tops. And then from there on, you're looking at below $15 billion in revenue. So that's the tops according to Wikipedia as far as IPs and their revenue, with Pokemon bringing in over 115 billion so far in revenue in its lifetime. So there you go.
Impressive.
Impressive. Most impressive.
It's impressive as well, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's like Transformers. It took a long time for them to get there, but yeah. So, but they did. So thank you for that, Jeremiah. And then we got Marksman 117B says, Paul. Oh, forgot to get this one from Paul. I'm so sorry. How would Space King rate for green light? We'll have to save that for him and ask him that on Monday. In fact, I'll send that to him. Just screenshot it for him. There we go. And then Jason Webster says, breaking news: Max, the dog from Good Boy, firms as winner of Best Actor at the 98th Academy Awards. Like the U.S. Academy Awards? That would not surprise me.
Well, that's one way to bring back the audience.
That would work. You're not wrong, Andre. Puppies and kitties are big money. Yeah. Dark King says Odyssey has cast Zendaya. No thanks while it closed. Yeah, it's got a big cast, and that's like the only thing I think that's going to help that film. But now people were pointing out that it comes out 2 weeks before Spider-Man, or vice versa, one of the two.
Well, then it has, again, that's 2 weeks for it to make money, or for one of them to make money. But who knows? We'll see what the hype is.
Yeah,
and it's going to be impossible to say exactly what it's going to be before we get there.
Well, Variety seems to think the Odyssey is going to win. Yeah. Bass Player 2011 If he says, paging Jim Cummings, you are wanted on the Muppet set. Yeah, he could do a couple Muppet voices. Pack and Proton says we need a YouTube. I don't know what that is supposed to be. Some basic.
We need a YouTube.
K-Dater.
I honestly do not know exactly.
I'm sure
it's some technical term because he's asking for Paul. So Paul probably would know.
Sorry about that. So some basic interface, integrated StreamYard interface. How much would that cost to produce, Paul? Yeah, I'm going to save that one for Paul again, too. So remind us, mods, that Monday we got to ask Paul some questions. And then Warachi says, I wonder what will replace YouTube once they drive out all the small content folk who helped to make the platform what it is now. No one watches the legacy media, but that's what they are thinking will be successful. Lunacy. Yeah, they just want YouTube to be like another TikTok, Instagram, where you go to get your Jimmy Kimmel clips. That's what they want. Yeah. Where you go watch your 2-minute news chunks and you watch your Jimmy Kimmel clips, and that's what you do. That's what they want YouTube to be. Demstrom, if you can, Denim Masterson, that's what it is. Den Masterson says, compare how Stranger Things handled their gay character to how Pluribus handled Carol being gay. I haven't seen Pluribus, but
Again, that's for Paul because he's seen it.
Yeah, sorry we missed all these for Paul. And then Mr. Tickletrunk says, did they use gay as a shield for final criticism? Is one of the Duffer Brothers gay? I thought they were.
No, I think what it means is like, yeah, because now you can't criticize the finale because then you're homophobic.
Oh, yes. That.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think so. I think that may be like a secondary thing, but I do not think it's like we're going to make him gay because then people can't attack the overall shitty writing. I do not think so at all. I think that this was just a genuine virtual signal, them deciding we need to have like some kind of social messaging here so that people will tell us how good we are in cocktail parties. And I'm sure they will have gotten some pressure from cocktail party, the Hollywood Cocktail Party crowd already to do this. Now they can say how good they were. I really think that's all there was to it. I don't think there was any kind of nefarious, oh, this is going to suck, so let's make him gay because then people can't attack us for us. I don't think so. I understand why people would think that, but I don't think so in this case.
And then Paulie says, shut up. Well, I can't say it again. I already said it once. And I learned from Yellow Flash you can get away with it once. You can't stream shows and do videos about movies and Ninja Turtles like Midnight's Edge After Dark, but you can say that word once in a stream.
Yeah. Let's not push it because we already know how bad that can how bad it can go.
You can't say the T word at all though anymore. Yeah. With the Y on the end, by the way. But anyhow, that being said, before we say any words we shouldn't say, on that note, Andre, Happy New Year to everybody out there listening to us here. We will let you guys know soon what the plan is for Midnight's Edge After Dark. I haven't really discussed that much with you because you've been busy with New Year's. And
I have, yeah, with family commitments and stuff like that. I mean, Christmas, New Year, I mean, never mind business, that doesn't stop, but you also have suddenly family commitments that are creeping up. And the kids aren't even in school. I mean, how is it supposed to work when the people in school take the time off?
I know, right? You hate this when things get timed off.
Yeah.
I know. I spent a lot of yesterday sleeping, although I probably shouldn't have, but I needed it, and I was depressed. So yeah. With that, we will be back on Monday. Between now and then, I will pop up on a stream here or there, I'm sure. We will let you know what the plan is for Midnight's Edge After Dark going forward. Sooner than later, we definitely will be having something for the mods sooner than later, Andre. Hint, hint.
Yeah, we'll have something for the members also.
I mean, members is what I meant.
Yeah, yes. Maybe even this weekend, maybe on Sunday. Maybe you want to.
Well, you're going to have to commit to it then, one way or the other.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, with that, let's get on out of here. As you say,
let's bring out the koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain.
Thank you, Corbin Dallas, for being a member for 26 months.
In the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koalas in the rain.